Have you ever pondered who keeps watch over you while you sleep? Imagine a night watchman, his silhouette against the midnight sky, his eyes ever vigilant, his purpose unwavering. He stands guard, tirelessly protecting those within his charge from any harm that may befall them in the quiet hours. Such is the image painted by Psalm 121, 4-6, a beautiful representation of God's unfaltering watchfulness over us. In Psalm 121 verses 4-6 it says, "Behold, he who keeps Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper, the Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night." These verses remind us that God, like our envisioned watchman, is ever on guard, eternally vigilant and always ready to protect us. Have you ever experienced a time when you felt alone, perhaps in the dead of night, when the world was silent, and it seemed like you were the only one awake? In those moments, it's comforting to remember that God is there with you. He never sleeps, never takes a break, and never looks away. He is your constant protector, your steadfast guardian. Consider the warmth of the sun, a symbol of God's love and protection during the day. Even when the sun is at its highest point, its heat will not harm you because God is your shade, your shield. He tempers the brightness, ensuring you are not overwhelmed. When night falls, the moon takes up its post in the sky, casting a soft glow over the world. But even in its gentle light, the moon will not harm you. God's protection extends to the night, providing a shield against the unseen and the unknown. So the next time you find yourself alone in the quiet hours of the night, remember the watchman. Remember that you are never truly alone. God is there, ever vigilant, providing you unwavering protection. His watchful eyes never close and his care never ceases. Remember, like the watchman, God is always on duty, guarding us from harm. Isn't it amazing how the sun and moon govern our days and nights? It's a captivating thought, isn't it? The sun, in all its blazing glory, gives us light and warmth during the day, while the moon, with its serene and peaceful glow, rules the night. In Psalm 121 verses 4-6, there's a symbolic representation of these celestial bodies. The psalmist says, "Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper, the Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night." It's a beautiful metaphor, isn't it? The sun and moon, often seen as powerful forces governing our world, are used here to represent the adversities and challenges we face in life. The scorching heat of the sun could symbolize the hardships we encounter during our daily grind. The pressures at work, the struggles in our personal lives, the trials that drain our energy and spirit. These are the fiery darts of the day. And then we have the moon, a soothing presence in the darkness of the night. But it also brings with it a sense of uncertainty and fear of the unknown. It's a fitting symbol for the anxieties and worries that often keep us awake, the silent battles we fight when the world around us is seemingly at peace. Yet, amidst these challenges represented by the sun and moon, the psalmist reassures us of God's unwavering protection. He is our keeper, our shade, protecting us from the heat of the day and the fears of the night. His protection is not intermittent or inconsistent. It doesn't slumber or sleep. The trials symbolized by the sun and moon may rise and set, they may come and go, but God's protection, His love and His grace, they remain constant. They are steadfast and unchanging. Just as the sun and moon rise and set, so do our troubles come and go, but God's protection is constant. Let this truth anchor your heart and mind. No matter what you're facing, remember, you are under the unwavering protection of the Almighty. Have you ever felt alone in your struggles? A question that pierces the heart, isn't it? But what if I told you, you're never alone? Let's consider the story of David. David was a shepherd boy turned king, a man after God's own heart, yet he faced countless trials and tribulations. From tending sheep in the wilderness to fighting the giant Goliath, from being hunted down by King Saul to enduring the rebellion of his own son, Absalom. David's life was far from easy. It was riddled with challenges that would make anyone feel isolated, alone. Yet David was never alone. David penned the beautiful verses of Psalm 121, where he acknowledges the omnipresent guard of God. Verses 4-6 say, "Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper, the Lord is your shade on your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night." David knew that no matter how intense his battles were, God was with him, guarding him, guiding him. Even when David felt alone in his struggles, he was never truly alone. God was his ever-present guard, his protector in times of need. He was David's shade, shielding him from the scorching trials of life. Like David, we too face our Goliaths. We too endure the heat of the wilderness and the cold of the night. We too feel alone in our struggles. But remember, like David, we are never truly alone. God is our keeper, our shade, our guard. He neither slumbers nor sleeps. He is forever vigilant, forever present. Even when we don't see him, he is there, watching over us, guiding us, protecting us. So the next time you feel alone in your struggles, remember David's words. Remember God's promise. Remember that God is your omnipresent guard. No matter what you're going through, remember God is always there, watching over your life. What does it truly mean to be under God's protection? Well, let's delve into that. To be under God's protection isn't just about being shielded from physical harm. It's much deeper, much more profound. It's about having the courage to face life's challenges, knowing that we are not alone, that the Creator of the universe is with us every step of the way. Think about it. When we understand that we are under God's protection, we find a sense of peace and security. It's like being in a storm but knowing that you're safe inside a robust shelter. The winds may howl, the lightning may strike, but you're safe. And that's exactly what God's protection feels like. It gives us a sense of invincibility, not because we are immune to life's struggles, but because we know that we have a God who is bigger than any problem we could ever face. But there's more. Being under God's protection also gives us strength. It's the kind of strength that comes from knowing that you have the ultimate backing, the ultimate support system. It's like having a personal trainer when you're lifting weights, or a safety net when you're walking on a tightrope. With God's protection, we have the strength to overcome, the strength to endure, the strength to keep going, even when the going gets tough. And let's not forget about courage. When we are under God's protection, we are emboldened to face our fears, to step out of our comfort zones, to take risks. Why? Because we know that we have a God who is watching over us, a God who will not let us stumble or fall. So what does it mean to be under God's protection? It means knowing that we are loved by a God who is always with us. It means having the courage to face our fears, the strength to overcome our obstacles, and the peace to weather any storm. Being under God's protection means being under His loving care, providing us with strength and courage to face life's challenges. So, what can we do with this knowledge of God's unwavering protection? Well, the answer is simple, yet profound. We share it. We share it with our friends, our family, our colleagues, and even strangers we meet along our journey. We share the comfort and the assurance that comes from knowing that God is always watching over us, always protecting us, no matter what trials and tribulations we might face. Just imagine the impact of this message on someone who is going through a tough time. Imagine the hope and solace it could bring to someone who is feeling lost, who is feeling like they are battling their demons alone. That's the power of sharing God's protection. It has the potential to uplift spirits, to bring light into darkness, to transform despair into hope. But it's not just about the words we say or the message we share. It's about the actions that accompany those words. It's about demonstrating God's protection through our actions, about being the living embodiment of His love and care. It's about extending a helping hand to those who need it, about giving a listening ear to those who are yearning to be heard. It's about showing compassion, kindness, and empathy just like God does for us. Now you might be wondering, how can I start sharing this message? Well, a great place to start is right here, right now. By liking, subscribing, and sharing this video, you can help spread the message of God's unwavering protection to a wider audience. You can help ensure that this message reaches those who need to hear it the most. And remember, sharing this message is not just about spreading the word, it's about spreading hope. It's about letting others know that they are not alone, that they are protected, loved, and cared for. It's about making a difference, one person at a time. By sharing this message, you're not just spreading the word, you're spreading hope. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Stay blessed and keep spreading the love.